Hey guys, I'm finally doing my pregnancy update. Woohoo! So, oh my goodness. I've been wanting to do these since I was first found out I was pregnant and just never having the time. And then honest to the Lord above, I have not felt great so far with this pregnancy. And so that has put a damper on me doing vlogs. So, yeah, so now I think I am 6 weeks pregnant. I could be as much as almost 7 weeks. So I'm not exactly sure because I had really weird ovulation pattern this cycle. If you want to go and watch my last TTC vlog, the follow-up to a BFP one, because I should talk about my chart and like the weirdness and all of that in it. So yeah, so you can go watch that one if you want to kind of like learn about all that stuff. So yeah, so 6 to 7 weeks long. I think I'm 6 weeks. I don't think I'm 7 weeks. I think I'm 6 weeks. So usually with both my other children, at this point, I didn't have like a ton of symptoms. This time I do. Oh my gosh, I know every pregnancy is supposed to be different. This pregnancy has, I think it's like kind of like slapped me in the face. Like I've just been like, what is going on with this? So first off, I was shocked that I was pregnant. I did not think I was gonna get pregnant this past cycle. I still am having trouble wrapping my head around it. In spite of the fact that I'm having all these symptoms, which I'm about to get to, I cannot believe that there is a baby inside my uterus. Like I cannot, it does not seem real at all. Like I cannot even express to you guys, like this is not real. I feel like this is not happening. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's not like this isn't happening, no. Like not like that. Like it's completely in this shocked way. I'm just like, is this real? Like is this really happening? So that's going on. So let me tell you guys. So literally, like I got my BFP and that was all awesomeness. And then I swear within days, I started getting nauseous. And I was like, man, I was like, you know, it's just in my head. I was like, I don't know, but I would just feel nauseous, like vaguely nauseous almost every day. And it's just gotten worse. It's like this whole past, like this past week has been, oh my goodness, it's just nausea all the time. It's like I'm queasy all the time and I'm not thrown up, like knock on wood, but I'm nauseous all the time. This is immensely different than my other 2 pregnancies where I was like, woohoo! So it's just nausea, like constantly. I haven't had one in a week, which is so great, but before then, I swear for like 2 weeks in a row, I had a headache. And it kind of felt like a dehydration headache, but I was drinking water all the time, and I know I was not dehydrated. But that's like kind of the feeling, and I know that's hormonal. Like I was getting that from the hormones. Like it was very obvious, but it was still not fun because Tylenol didn't help with it, you know, water didn't help, sleep didn't even help. I would go to sleep and I'd wake up and I'd have a headache and I'd just be like, are you serious right now? So, but I haven't had the headache in like a week, so that's good. But the nausea, it's like crazy. It's like usually with most people, they say the nausea really starts picking up about 6 weeks. Well, I'm just now 6 weeks. Like even if I'm 7 weeks and I'm wrong, it's like if it's gonna start picking up now, I'm in for like trouble because I don't know, I think maybe I just got really lucky with my other pregnancies, so now I'm kind of getting these. With Grayson, I was really nauseous, but it was only for like 2 weeks. It was like a horrible 2 weeks where I was like, oh no, and it felt like during that 2 weeks, I felt like it would never end. But when it kind of like let up, it was just like, I was like, oh, well, I feel fine now. Like, yay. Like, it was just like, it was off. It turned off. It was, and so then in the grand scheme of things, in hindsight, I was like, that wasn't that bad because it was so short. With Sophie, I would get really nauseous, but as soon as I ate something, I felt perfect. I'd be like, oh, I feel a little nauseous. Eat. And I'd be like, okay, I'm good. Like, it was totally fine. And so the sickest I got with Sophie was not because of the pregnancy. It was, we had traveled to Egypt and I got a little sick there and it wasn't a pregnancy sickness. And so it was just, you know, easy. And then like I said with Grayson, it was short-lived. And so this one has been driving me a little bit crazy. And I'm exhausted and that's totally normal. But the thing is I noticed if I didn't get as much sleep as maybe I should, the nausea is worse. So the other thing that was like, it literally was like someone turned a switch on, was my like heart rate. And what happens when you're pregnant immediately is there starts being more blood flow, and this can actually cause you to pee more because there's got to be a place for that extra blood flow to whenever it's emptying out. And it can also, it causes your heart rate, you know, your heart rate can get faster and blah 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 blah. Well, this wasn't right after the test, but like I'd say like maybe 4 weeks or so. It's like I was like dashing up the stairs like I always do. It doesn't wind me at all. I may not be like a super thin person, I'm not super healthy, but I go to the gym fairly regularly. I still have 20 pounds I should lose, but I'm not in horrible shape. Like I get exercise. Dashing up my stairs should not wind me, but it was so weird because it was like one day I'm dashing up the stairs like normal and everything's fine, and then I swear it was like the next day I ran up the stairs and I got to the top of the stairs and I was like and I was like, what the heck? I was like, and my heart was like and I was like, are you serious right now? Like, like what is that? And so and anytime I would do something, like if I would bend over to pick something up, when I stood up my heart would be like and I was like, really? And I did that with both my other pregnancies. It was just the fact that I've done it so soon. It was weird to me. And so yeah, so that's definitely been happening. And then okay, so then the bloating, like, okay, so when I was pregnant with my first, I was not aware of such a thing as baby bloat. I was like, what's that? And then I started to experience baby bloat where I was like, man, I feel really bloated. It's like I kind of look like I'm starting to show, but I'm only 10 weeks. Like, what's up with this? And it's baby bloat. Like, it's bloating when you're in your first trimester, especially, is so common. It can be uncomfortable. It kind of makes you look fat or like you're already showing when you're not quite actually showing, but you kind of look like you are because you're all bloated, and it is crazy. So like I've had like crazy baby bloat. Like, I will give you an example. So one day I woke up and I weighed myself and I was like, meh, I didn't like love the number, but it is what it is. And then like later in the day I was like, man, I feel like huge. Like I was like, like my stomach felt hard and like, oh, I just was like, oh, I feel like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And like I weighed myself, you guys, I was up like 6 pounds. I was like, what? And here's the kicker. So like later that night, like we had dinner and I was like around and I was like, I don't feel as bad as I did earlier. It's like my stomach doesn't feel as tight. And I weighed myself again, and after dinner at the end of the day, I was only up like 1 pound from what I'd been in the morning. And I was down like 5 pounds from the 6 pounds I randomly was in the middle of the day when I felt bloated. So it is crazy. Like, that's not natural. Even, it's normal for your weight to fluctuate when you're not pregnant, but like that was like extreme. So I've definitely had that going on. And I can tell when I'm not as bloated because I don't feel as bad. Like, it makes me feel bad. So yay. But it's totally normal. So it's just like kind of uncomfortable. So if you are pregnant for the first time and you are feeling fat and like bloaty and weird, you're like, what's happening? So normal. It's called baby bloat. That's like the nickname for it. It's not great, it's not fun, but it is what it is. You know what? Hey, it's an excuse for you to wear your pregnancy clothes early. So there we go. And then in terms of like a belly shot, I'm not doing a belly shot right now because it is the end of the day and I look ridiculous. So that's not happening. But like sometimes like I look totally normal, and then sometimes I think just in the last couple of days I feel like my stomach is definitely starting to pooch out, and I'm like, how am I 6 weeks pregnant? My stomach's starting to look like it's pooching out. And so I have to remind myself that this is my 3rd pregnancy and it's normal to show earlier and blah blah blah, but it still makes me feel kind of weird. I'm like 6 weeks, really? Like, that's way too early. Night, honey, I love you. So anyway, it just makes me kind of self-conscious, and even knowing that it's normal, and like I'll read like all this stuff about people in pregnancies that are like 3+ on, and they're like, oh yeah, it happens, like, it can happen, blah blah blah, muscle memory, uterus knowing what to do, all of that jazz. It still makes me feel kind of like, like I don't want to put on my pregnancy clothes yet. I'm like, come on, like, it's ridiculous. So, but I definitely noticed that it seems to be definitely starting to do something. Okay, so there's all that. So there was like a whole thing of like complaining, a whole mess of complaining right there. At the end of the day though, I'm so happy to have these symptoms. They are just surprising me because I was not expecting to have, I don't have experience having this many symptoms this soon. And I feel really bad for all those women that do. And I was always like, that stinks, but like I didn't know how they felt. Now I do, and I'm sorry. Just seems like so early to have like such strong symptoms, but oh well, I guess I do. And oh, that's the other thing, the nausea. Sometimes it's so bad that I'll be sleeping, it'll wake me up from my sleep. I will wake up from dead sleep and be like, ugh. So that's annoying. So there we go. Okay, so yeah, but anyway, at the end of the day, like totally happy to have it. And talking about it actually makes me feel better because I feel like I'm making it normal. Like, you know what I mean? Just like, I feel like I'm sharing it with people. I'm venting. I'm like, yeah, okay. So there's that. And then, all right, so I am going to, we decided to go with the birth center, if they'll have me, because I do have a little bit of a medical history with my blood pressure with both pregnancies. So, but I made my midwife appointment for next week. So I'll be 7, 8 plus weeks, I don't know, whatever I am. So at the midwife, at the birth center, I'm going to, oh, good news too, my insurance covers the birth center. They were like, yeah, what? Like, it was like no big deal. So that's the good news though. You know, I'd heard that, you know, sometimes insurance companies didn't cover them, but mine does, like no problem at all. So that's awesome. They cover them just like they would a hospital. So that's great. And so we will, you know, honestly, we're not gonna have to pay much, no matter where I went to. We don't really pay much to have the baby with the insurance we have. So that's good. It doesn't really cost us much of anything. We have like a plan that is, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go off on a tangent here real quick. If you are in another country, like England or Canada or wherever, and you guys have like the national health care, that's awesome. But we don't have that here. And so whenever you guys sit there and you're like, that sucks, you guys stink, like, oh my God, I don't know what you do. That doesn't help us. It doesn't make us feel better. It just stresses us out more. So remember that. I've seen so many comments lately on people who are struggling financially with like affording their births, and then to have all these people rant about how their countries are so much better doesn't help us. It just makes us feel bad. And like, trust me, we are all like working hard to make ours a better situation. And so it would be more helpful if you were just like supportive of the fact that like, that isn't as good maybe as where you live, you know, and we do need to have better coverage. But you guys know me, I'm pretty nice. Like, I don't really go off on a high horse about almost anything because I think everybody's different, everybody's good, you know, everybody can, you know, have something that's awesome. But that's one thing that's been really bothering me lately, because I'm like, it's so awesome that you guys have that, but we don't. And you telling us that you have it and how awful it must be for us doesn't help. Like, it just makes us feel bad. It just, like, you saying that's not helping things change. Like, it doesn't help. It just makes us feel bad. Like, we just feel horrible. So don't say it like that. Just be like, you know what, we're really blessed over here that we have this coverage, and you know, we're thinking of you, and I hope you find a way, and I hope it works out. And say something like that, because it does make people over here feel kind of bad, because we do have a different kind of coverage than most of you guys do. And you know, it doesn't mean that. So yeah, so just that was the tangent there. It's just, you know, most people who, I get that comment a lot, I hear that all the time too, but most of the people who've said it to me, it's been very just like surprise, or like not really, no one means it mean at all. But I was looking on Facebook, and there's just like kind of a pregnancy boom right now, and I have seen a lot of people commenting, they're like, literally, like I saw one comment where someone was like, oh my, it must be horrible to live there, thank God I don't live there. And I was like, really? Like, that would be like if I walked up to you and was like, thank God I don't have your face. Oh, because like if I said that to somebody, it'd be so rude. Like, that's how it feels. It feels like you're slapping us in the face. Like, instead of being a friend about it, instead of being supportive or understanding or sympathetic, it feels like you're just rubbing it in that like things like that it's bad, and it just makes us feel bad. And so, and yeah, and like I said, it's just, you know, I don't know. I have I'm sensitive to this because I have a friend who was just crying to me about this because someone actually like said that to her and it made her cry. And I was like, no. I was like, I've seen it too, and I knew exactly what she was talking about. So just remember, it's so awesome that your country pays for your birth, but we don't have that here. So just be sympathetic to us. Like, I'm so happy that you guys got that, but we don't. So just be like sympathetic, be our friend about it, you know, like be our friend when we like, when you gripe about like the boyfriend who's not being great, we can like gripe at you guys and be like, we can vent about it and be like, it stinks, stupid money and insurance. You can be like, I know that does stink, you know, and it is nice over here because we don't have to, so I'm sorry you do. Like, be like that. Like, that's what we need. We need that. We don't need like, you know, slap in the face about it. So anyway, that's a tangent, but I'm just letting you know, it's kind of like, you know, with all areas, you got to be kind of sympathetic to people. And I think, you know, people remember to be sympathetic to people who maybe are having trouble trying to conceive. People remember to be sympathetic when someone's having a rough pregnancy. But I think people forget that like maybe you need to be sympathetic to the fact that like, to like a money issue, an insurance issue like that too, because it can hurt people's feelings and make us feel bad. So just remember that, okay? Be sensitive to that. So there we go. So that being said, I'm very lucky. We're very blessed because our insurance is really great. I was just like, well, that's a relief. Like, we don't even have to think about it. It's like, it's covered, and that is really, really nice. So I was very happy about that. So that's good. Okay, so I picked my midwife. I picked a certified nurse midwife. She actually is also, she has her master's in something nursing. She worked in a hospital setting for a long time. I picked her because one, I really liked her. I got a good vibe from her. But two, I thought since she had been in a setting, like a hospital setting for so long and had done all that stuff, I thought that it would be good for her since like I could have a weird medical kind of issue. I thought she would be a really good person to have kind of on my team. I think that like if there was ever something to be concerned about, she would be very quick to be like, let's go to the doctor, let's do this, let's go to the hospital. I really trust her. So I'm really excited. And I've already met her and talked to her in person, and I've talked to her on the phone. But now I'm excited because our first midwife appointment is going to be 2 hours, and we're really going to like get into things. And so I'm really excited, and I hope that I'm just as happy then. And the only thing is about the midwife is that they don't do an initial ultrasound because they don't really like to do a lot of ultrasounds, with good reason. But I want one because I don't know how far along I am. And I know it's all like subjective, like your due date shouldn't be set in stone, you know, and hospitals are really bad about that. But the thing is, in my situation, like if I was having a blood pressure issue at the end or whatever, I'd like to know like a more accurate due date so that I kind of have that in my corner and I'm not like guesstimating, you know. And so I want one. I want an initial ultrasound. So I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna be like, hey, and they actually have ultrasound technician that comes to the birth center. So that's really cool. So I think I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna just be like, I want an extra ultrasound, please. And otherwise, they only do the anatomy one about halfway through the pregnancy. So the other thing is that there's a couple of like testing that I want done that they don't really do there just by standard. So I'm going to ask her to do that too. They do like a lot of the blood work and things there. So I'm assuming she can do it. If not, I'm sure she'll send me somewhere where I can do it. Because that's one thing I was concerned about with a midwife is I was like, what if I want some of that stuff done, you know? And then I was like thinking about it, and I was like, I was starting to feel kind of trapped because I was like, with the doctor, you feel trapped because they do too much medical intervention. And with the midwife, I was feeling trapped because I thought they maybe wouldn't do as much as I would like. And then I realized that no, a midwife, they're on your team and they really try to make you happy. And if their personality, I think that if that's something I would feel better having done, like she would be like, okay, you know. So we'll see, but I'm excited about that. And yeah, so I'm gonna have, right now the plan is, and like unless something goes wrong, I plan on having a birth center birth. And so I'm pretty excited. It's kind of weird since I still don't feel pregnant. I mean, in spite of the nausea, I still cannot wrap my head around the fact that there's like a baby inside of me. So it is not real to me at all. I need to start showing more, I think, or go and get like that initial ultrasound to really have it sink in. It's just also, it's happening so fast and it's so crazy, you know? And I've definitely been emotional, as you could probably tell by the fact that like I went off on this like thing about don't make us feel bad about our healthcare. And that's not like, I don't normally do stuff like that, but I definitely am emotional. I don't remember being this emotional with either of the other two kids, so I don't know, like right now I feel kind of like I might cry. Like why? Like why? Like why do I feel that way? Is it because I have hurt feelings about the healthcare? Is it because I'm so excited about the baby? Because I can't tell if these are like happy tears behind my eyes or like, I don't know. It's so crazy, you guys. Like I don't feel like myself. I feel really weird. And so I don't know. I'm gonna be excited for things to start to level out because I just feel kind of off kilter right now. It's so weird. But you know what's funny? I really feel better talking like right now. I'm like, this is helping. I feel like I'm just like, oh, like this is like airing out my like dirty laundry, so to speak. So there we go. Okay, so this was a really long update, but I needed to update on the past like 3 weeks. So, okay, so yeah, so it's crazy that this journey's starting. I can't wait for it to be real. We're gonna definitely do Operation Get Ready for Baby like we did with Grayson. There were separate special videos about getting the house ready and planning for the baby, and we're gonna do that this time. I already filmed some when we were rearranging the rooms upstairs. So I filmed them and we weren't even close to being pregnant yet, and I filmed some of those, and so I'll start doing that. And yeah, so there we go. So baby test to everybody who's still trying, and thank you guys for all your support with us. And then, you know, congrats to like the pregnancy boom out there. Hopefully all this baby dust flying around is gonna pass off to everybody else, because that's pretty awesome. I have several due date buddies. Like it's crazy. I'm like, what happened? Like what's going on with this last cycle? It's like crazy cycle for everybody apparently. So anyway, there we go. And I promise, in spite of the fact that like I'm nauseous and clearly I'm an emotional wreck right now, and I cannot get enough blush on my face. I look like some sort of weird pale funkiness. I swear I cannot put on enough makeup to make me look like I'm alive. Like I'm like, what is going on with my face? So in spite of all of that, I really am happy. I bought maternity clothes. I wanted to show them in this video, but it's too long, so I will show them next time. I bought them because I was so excited. Like I couldn't stand it. And I'm already like, what is this baby? Is it a boy? Is it a girl? What is it? Like I can't even like, I'm like, what's it gonna be? Because like I want to start planning stuff, and oh, it's just so wonderful. And there's stuff like we're gonna have to get a new car. There's so much stuff, and it's all wonderful. It's all wonderful things. And so I am just so excited. So here we go, starting this crazy journey of like, you know, babiness. And oh, it's awesome. It's so crazy. It is so awesome. So, and yeah, and so you watch my day in the life, don't be surprised if in my day in the life I'm either one like lying on the couch like, oh my gosh, or like crying, like crying because of like a popcorn commercial or something random, because apparently like that's what's going on, like wacky hormone-ness going on. I don't know, like the hormones in my body are like, I swear they're working like double time. Everything is like happening with sooner and with more intensity than like I've ever experienced before. It's crazy. Like I really do feel like I'm being like battered around, and I'm like, what is happening in this world? It's crazy. So there we go. All right, so then hopefully now I will be caught up and I'll start doing my pregnancy vlogs. Next week I'll do mine. When I do my vlog next week, it'll still be before my midwife appointment, so that won't be covered until the week after. But I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited, like the birth center and everything. So, all right guys. So there we go. If you have any advice about handling the motion, the nausea, I don't like ginger, so something else besides that, any of that, please let me know. All right.